Are mental health diagnoses for us to heal, or are they for insurance companies to make profits off of? I'm Jaime. I'm a licensed therapist. We are talking about the dark history of mental health, what nobody wants to talk about. This is a series. Follow along if you're interested. Let's go. We've been talking about the conflict of interest in the DSM. I haven't even gotten to this, but many of the people that work in the work groups that form the revisions have conflict of interest. There's stats that are like over 50% of them have conflict of interest. There's one group, ready? The sleep-wake disorders, that have 100% conflict of interest rate, which means every single one of those people in the work group has some kind of bind to pharmaceutical interests or groups that treat insomnia or other sleep disorders. That's a big problem. So, is the DSM for healing or is it for profit? Well, like a lot of the things in this world, there's a lot of nuance here. So let's talk about what the nuance is. Is it helpful to have names for things? Yes. This is why we can all look outside at that green thing and say tree. That's fine. The issue is it becomes very complex when we talk about mental health issues. We're all talking about the symptoms of things, but many people fail to understand what these origins, the etiology of these disorders are. And a lot of people, they just throw up their hands and they go, we just don't know. We don't know. We can't figure out the science behind it. Oh, well, let's just talk about the symptoms. And meanwhile, you're providing decades and decades of people that are only talking about the symptoms and not being able to tap into like, hey, what would it look like to get to the origin story of all of these symptoms? I liken it to the physical medical industry, where if I went in with a foot that hurt me and I go, my foot is really sore, I can barely walk on it, there's swelling, I'm upset, I'm irritated, and they say, put some ice on it, take some ibuprofen. They're treating the symptoms of most likely an underlying cause of injury inside of my foot. So this goes on for 6 months, and they never do an X-ray. And I am an unknown consumer. I don't even realize X-rays exist. I go into the doctor months and months later and I go, this is not going away. Can you please help me? And they say, well, I guess we could use an X-ray. They find that I have some massive tear that I need surgery for. This is going on in mental health, except the ice pack and the ibuprofen are just psych meds. Because the DSM doesn't mention the X-ray machine, you can profit off the symptoms, but that stops when they're healed.